Chris?
Is
that good? Okay.
Thank you.
It's weird hearing the echo. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So wanted to start out with a moment of silence for Bryce Basso. As many of you know, this past month we lost a young member of our community, Bryce Basso, who had been a past student of Center Drive. This tragic loss has touched so many of our teachers, staff, students, families, and community members. We'd like to acknowledge the response of our community in supporting each other during this difficult time and to express our sincere sympathy to all who knew him well. So please join us in a moment of silence to honor Bryce Basso. Thank you. So we can get started with our meeting. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
No.
Consideration of the minutes from the April 4th meeting?
Madam Chairperson, it should be included in your packets, and barring any errors or omissions, I would recommend approval as written.
Motion?
I second it.
All in favor? Okay. So now we have opportunity for public comment. If anybody in the public has anything to share or
No
either
pressure.
from the board. Thank you for coming. Okay, there'll be another chance at the end if you think of anything. So we'll start out with a presentation.
So, I'll have us slideshows and pictures from All right, so the outdoor ed program for good thing to talk. I don't have my glasses.
That's
on.
better.
Perfect, beautiful.
Looks good.
Good job.
So the outdoor ed program, we're almost our first year in with it. Meeting on time is kind of sorry the last time that I messed up the time and met you guys down in the woods. But this little slideshow while I'm letting it play with just the pictures and such. I was just going to talk about what we've done so far and what the plans are moving forward. I guess I'll talk over it. I'm not sure. Maybe you want to turn that off? Alright, so I have a little paper that I pass out to you going over some of the stuff that we've done so far this year. This is very brief, so I don't want to take all your time. I'm just kind of talking through everything. But so far this year, we started the year off with the challenge course that you guys saw that go about that. We focused a lot on our soft skills, which I've listed right there, growth mindset, reception feedback, active listening, emotional intelligence, and adaptability. That's something that we talk about in the class. For the kids, every time we do that, they can very back to those.
Can you turn down the volume with the remote or the projector? Is there a remote for the projector?
Usually there's I can see the button there, but I'm not telling. Hold on. I can see the volume button right there. It's like a mute. It's like down the little black one, I think. Yeah. Oh, that'll work too.
That works. Perfect. All right.
So those are the different things that I talked about during every class. We come back to touch on those, whatever it is that we were doing, whether it's one of the challenge course activities, building fires, those types of things. We talk about work ethic, following through with stuff, adaptability, adapting to the situation. We always try to come back and touch on those. We did goal sheets. Even the kids didn't quite like doing the goal sheets at times, but I still try to bring that back so that way they can understand that the purpose of this class that I'm working with them on is to work on those basic skills that are beyond algebra and reading and all that. So some of those skills that they just need in life, how to work in a team, okay, and how to work with others. So we did that a lot through September through December. Also did some time identifying trees and doing some work with studying the trees. Then in January, we moved on to some other outdoor activities, such as orienteering, using map and compasses, tied a lot of science in with that. And then February and March, we did some snowshoeing, emergency fire starting, which the kids really liked. See some pictures up there. They really loved doing that and talking about it. I made them use flint and steel. When we started the class, they could only use stuff they could find in the forest. And then eventually I went around and handed them a cotton ball, and they were able to get it started from that afterwards. Most of them were able to. And then to finish that all up, we made s'mores and stuff towards the end of it, and they really enjoyed it. And then right now, April, we're revisiting the challenge course things, going back through, going and doing the different activities out back, talking about all of our different soft skills and refocusing back on those, especially right after April break. Notice there's kind of a little bit of a slack, a little bit of the senioritis happening with a lot of the kids. And then moving forward for the rest of this school year, we're going to be doing some main studies. I have the 6th and 7th grades. They're going to be going on the main studies trips. Leave No Trace. I'm going to be doing a whole unit on that. We just started working with slingshots and also outdoor cooking and archery is the plan to finish up the year. Then next year, I plan on trying to create more of a loop of the skills, because this year was just experimenting and trying to find some different things for them to do. So next year, I want to try to turn it into more of a level kind of skill thing where the 5th and 6th graders, for instance, will do slingshots, and then 7th and 8th, they'll be able to use the archery and use the bows and arrows and those types of things. So kind of build throughout time. Also going to continue with some of the same activities, but then add some extra things to it, such as maple syrup production in March. I built a maple syrup evaporator at home, and I did some work with it this past spring, just trying to get it all the bugs worked out. I didn't want to be doing that in front of the kids, so I kind of figured all of that out. So we're going to be doing that next year, tapping all the trees here and also in Dedham, and I made it so that it can be transported from one school to the other. Then also in May and June next year, I'm hoping to get into paddle sports. I'm applying for grants and hoping to get a grant to be able to buy some canoes. I was going to do it this spring, but just got really busy with everything else. And it just seemed like one more thing to have to worry about trying to get this whole thing launched and off the ground. So next year I'm going to be looking into being able to buy some canoes and writing some grants for those through the Stephen King and the Tabitha Foundation. On the back side of the paper, if you have the paper in front of you, some of the collaborations that I've been working with, the Orrington Fire Department, I've been talking with them. We're going to be doing an 8th grade first aid CPR course. They're going to be coming right in and training and teaching the kids, and they'll be certified afterwards. We also talked about the younger kids doing stuff that's not quite as advanced, like even the 5th graders learning how to put a Band-Aid on properly without touching the pad and getting germs all over the place, and how to take care of it so that it doesn't get infected, and then work up through the time. So by the time they get to 8th grade, they're actually doing first aid and CPR. And they're going to bring all the equipment the fire department is. Also, the fire department offered to come in and do a whole unit teaching them about fire safety before we did our fires in the wintertime. And they also offered to come in at different times if they have different activities and stuff, just to kind of come in and see the kids. And depending on the age group, depending on the time, it may be, 1 week we don't do slingshots and the fire department comes in and talks to them about something along the lines of EMS or something like that. But we, in the process right now of working all those out. Also, Friends of Acadia, I'm working with them about the Leave No Trace program. Then Brewer High School, most of you know Mark Savage, He helped me build a lot of this out there, and we went, the 5th and 6th graders, and did a ropes course. So they were able to go to, no, sorry, not the ropes course. They were able to do the climbing wall at Brewer High School. And I'm hoping to bring the 7th and 8th graders to do their high ropes course there. Future plans, going to be writing some more grants. Like I said earlier, hoping to buy some more equipment. Friends at Acadia, they have offered to actually go write their grant for me. Basically, they offered if I come in or talk to them, the lady that I've been in contact with said, just let me know and I'll help you write it, and I'm the one that approves it. So I'm real excited about being able to go in and talk to her about the different things, and I'm hoping to use that to expand the ropes course out back and possibly be able to take some courses for myself through Project Adventure, because all I've been doing is a lot of reading and talking with Mark and talking with Tim over at Dedham and trying to piece this all together myself. I'd like to take some actual courses through Project Adventure to kind of narrow my focus a little bit more, my understanding. This summer, I'm going to be participating in the Acadia National Park Teacher Collaboration again. I'm going to be leading the activities on the first day. It's either going to be here or at Dedham. I'm not sure which, they haven't decided yet, but a lot of the teachers across the country and also the rangers that work in the education department at the Acadia, they're going to come, and I want to explain to them the program that I've started, and they're put them through some of the paces that the kids did, so that way they can understand what we're doing here, because that whole program that's designed through Acadia is trying to get kids outside learning. So they're real excited about what I'm doing here, or what we're doing here, and hoping we can show that to some of the other teachers. Future, looking to do some Maine Native American studies, fly tying, weather, gardening, wilderness first aid, safety. So all those things I'm hoping to plan and put some units together for that. Sorry if it's a little disjointed, but try to kind of explain what I've done so far and where we're going in the future. Any questions?
I think it's awesome.
I think it's
Thank you so much for, it's-
Thank you for all the support. It's been,
Yeah, no, is there more support you need, or I know you're going to apply for grants, but are there other things that you?
mostly the big thing is different things like the ones I'm talking about, like gardening. I'm not that great of a gardener. I've had a few gardens here and there, but like if anybody in the community would want to volunteer to come in and help me to help the kids, to teach them all about that. So I think that's like the biggest thing, is just the support through the community, just to help with some of the areas that may not be my expertise, but I know the kids love to learn about. Like I'd love to be able to build like butterfly gardens. I've done some research on that. Like you plant the milkweed, but where do you do that? How do you plant them and all that stuff? So somebody that's like into those different types of things would be really helpful. Yeah.
I mean, there's the Orrington Garden Club. I don't know if you've reached out to them at all. But
Yeah, there is I didn't even know there's a garden club.
I
Yeah,
know.
there is.
You never know what's out
Yeah.
there.
I can connect you.
Perfect.
And I would just say Gil's done a lot of work, particularly between the two schools, to really get this off the ground, because it's a very unique program. And there's not one model anywhere that mirrors what we're doing. And I think the kids have benefited greatly. But Gil has put a lot of time into this. So I would just say thank you.
Thank you for the support.
A lot of time.
Mark's not here, but thank him. Yeah. I'm constantly asking him
Yeah,
questions.
Mark's very good.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the kids are getting a lot out of it and enjoying it. I know my
Yeah.
daughter's enjoying
Oh, yeah.
it. And so
There are a
I'm
few
sure-
that fight,
I'm
a few
sure
of them
it
that
was
don't want to
different.
go outside.
I'm sure it was different in the beginning.
Yeah.
Some of them were probably like, what is this?
Yes, yeah. A lot of them were excited at the beginning. Some of them were expecting to have to actually write stuff, because I do stuff in the class. Today, before we did slingshots, we learned about Newton's laws. And they just sat there like, well, I thought we were just going to shoot slingshots. You know, we're going to actually do something beforehand to learn a little bit about it. But then you get to go out and play.
Well, I mean, I've been on a couple of the field trips with you, and I feel like they've gone well.
Yeah.
The fishing trip was a lot of fun, so hopefully that'll be something that continues.
Yes, I would love to expand that some more. And Greg Spencer, a firefighter, he's got a couple of children here at school, at the middle school. He was able to donate 10 fishing traps, and he went and talked to them at the, I'm trying to think of the name of the place, the Maine Army Supply or something like that. That's out heading to 1A. Yeah, they actually matched what he bought. He went in when they had 50% off, and he bought some traps, and then they matched it. So I'm hoping to get more of that equipment together, and then maybe expand it beyond just the 8th grade in the future. Yeah.
Where did you do that session?
It was at Pickerel Pond on, yep.
out on the Stud Mill Road, part of the Maine Fishing Youth Game Club.
I think I have you to thank for all my brown tail moth knowledge that I.
Oh, yes, I forgot about it. I didn't put that on there. Yes, I had kids constantly.
Starting fires at camp and stuff like that. It's a great program. Yeah, the kids talk about it all the time.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it with us too.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome to stay, but don't feel obligated.
I have a little exclusive size picture up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ready for dinner.
yeah, get out. Thank you, Joe.
Let's turn it on now for you.
I'm good.
Oh, when they
Thanks,
go to
Joe.
bed at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now I go to bed before all my children.
All right. So are we all
Yes,
set
you're good.
with that? Okay. All right, so we'll move on to old business. We have policy review, BEDH.
You have it included in your packets. It's your second read. We read it first time. There were no changes. So barring any further questions or concerns around the policy, I would recommend you approve it.
So I make a motion to approve policy BEDH.
I'll go second.
All in favor? All right. And then we have a transportation update.
So this is really just informational. As you know, we belong to the Hancock Collaborative, and we have, Michael has been the chair this year. We have for the last 2 years since we started it, when first students' bids came back with an increase of almost 40% over the 5 years. It's gone very well, but this is just to let you know that Dedham just joined that Transportation Collaborative as well. So they are now, our sister school is now in it with us as well, and that vote went very well, and it's expanded it. It's reduced the overall cost of the garage for us by about $2,000, but it also puts us all under one roof, which is good. They are now a member on that same board, so we are all together. And so I've taken any questions you have, but Michael was at the meeting. If there's anything you want to add, feel free. But beyond that, it was really just so that you were aware that that continues to go forward and grow, and as it grows, our overall cost goes down. Questions on that?
Is there room for more?
Yep. We have a capacity where we go beyond what we have for mechanics currently. We have 2, but we're 15 to 20 buses from there, depending on the ages of the buses.
Oh, okay. So is it still in Orland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're still about, so we
Yeah.
could have 15.
We could, I mean, it depends on the runs that we came in and the age of the buses.
And are you guys kind of actively pursuing other towns?
So we touch base with the people around us when they're up for bid, and then they can decide whether they want to go that avenue or not. And so Dedham did, which was good. As we move down that road, we'll see who else we can get. It also helps because where we have the high school runs, we can share resources, so we don't have to send as many buses. We can pick up and swap over and do all that.
Any other questions? Okay. New business, bill warrant number 9.
It is circulating. I think it is, yep. And then I'll have it back, so we're good.
Okay, and then the ESEA application.
So as a reminder, we do this one annually. The ESEA application is what used to be known as No Child Left Behind application. This is the opportunity for public comment. Here you use it to fund Title I positions so that you can provide additional support for students who need it academically but do not, either not in or do not qualify for special education typically. And so those resources are here, and part of the federal requirement is that we have an opportunity for public comment.
Okay.
So I will answer any questions you have about that.
I don't see any. Do you have any questions?
Didn't
think
quite
we have
catch
any
that, but I'm sure I
questions.
get it. All right.
All right. So moving on to reports, principals report.
Yes, thank you. Those of you who know me will know every single month from April to May and June, we'll say this is busy. This school is busy and we are trying to get it all in, so that's what we're doing. Planning for the upcoming May in service. You have my report with some of the things that we're going to be doing. This is Teacher Appreciation Week, And during that, we try to spoil our staff as much as we can with different kinds of treats. I'd like to publicly thank Sarah and Rick here, our two PTG reps, because they have been doing something or are planning on doing something every single day as well for our staff. So we certainly appreciate that. That's it from me. You have my report. Do you have any questions for me? Because you know what this, you send it to school. I can't tell you anything you don't already know about me, of course.
I was just wondering, just looking at your report, you mentioned the classroom management plan. I wasn't sure what that was. I can't
So in the fall, we had Michelle Taylor, who is our BCBA, behavioral
Board
specialist.
certified behavior.
Thank you. Who came and worked with us on creating a management plan beyond just a simple three-strike drug type of plan. So we started working on that, and everything with staff, I kind of tried to go, I think, slowly. Let's try it now, let's play with it for a little while, let's come back to it. So it's that type of behavior management system plan. It's more of a positive behavior plan that you do in classrooms. So
Thank you.
they've been working on that throughout the year. At some point in time, we need to bring that to some kind of conclusion, whether we do it in May or in August, but we're going to be finishing that up.
Mhm. Thanks.
So it's nothing brand new, it's nothing like.
Yeah, you might have told us about it and I might
Is that
have
the
forgotten.
PBIS?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had done that before COVID, kind of gone to the wayside and then.
This is that whole thing, if you'll remember in the beginning of the year, I think I said one of my goals was to get back to some of our PBIS, our core values, those things that we had done prior to COVID, that with COVID, having a half of your class, you know, those kinds of things weren't as much of an issue, of course, and they certainly were priority.
Mhm.
So it's time for us to get back to those things.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Martin? No? Okay, thank you for that. We'll move on to assistant principal.
All right, you have my letter in your packet. Spring sports are underway. I'm hoping for no rain on any game days, so please help me with that. That'd be fantastic. I wanted to thank Ben Walton and his custodial crew for the fields look great out there. A lot of great improvements to our facilities outside, and also Allen Farm Fence for coming and fixing some of our fencing, and we have a new outfield fence for the softball field, and that looks great. I also recognize the PTG in my report, all the work that they've been doing with Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you very much. And all the work all year through. So since you're sitting right here, one of my sentences says, all of the hard work that PTG does for our teachers, coaches, and students is much appreciated. So thank you very much. May also brings us lots of field trips. So we have classrooms going to all different kinds of field trips. Part of it is extending their learning opportunities, and part of it is just celebrating the school year. So that's a fun time in May. And it also brings spring testing. So we often talk about new WIAs, and we're probably still going to keep calling it new WIA. However, the state test is now called the main through year assessment. So that's the official term for it, but it still is mostly like the new WIA. And many classes, the state test is grades 3 through 8. Many classes have already started. The window for that testing is throughout the month of May up to the 26th. And then also grades 5 and 8, I think, are doing the main science assessment towards the end of the month as well. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Thank you. Okay, Mrs. Seymour.
Yes, so I have talked to you in previous months about the 8th to 9th grade transition meetings. Didn't think to mention about the kindergarten transition meetings. We did a bunch of those today, did a handful of those, and they went really well. And that's really important to make sure that we're well prepared for the students that are coming in kindergarten, that we're ready to meet their needs and make sure their program is appropriate for them. So Judy, if you hold up that t-shirt, I had talked to you in December too about field day with friends. It's kind of takeoff on Special Olympics. So we have 10 students and staff leaving from Center Drive on the 17th of May to go to Glenburn and participate with our Dedham team and the Glenburn team. And they're going to do a fun day of great activities like softball throw and relay races and 50-yard dash. we are going to honor them with a little bit of a send-off the day before. The students and the staff that are going are going to put on their t-shirts and walk through the halls. And we're hoping for classrooms to line up outside of the halls and cheer for them, maybe hold up some posters, let them know how important they are and that we wish them well in their games. So that is exciting. And in the last paragraph of my report, I talked about some students from the resource room who've been coming in to read to me. It's a great opportunity for them to practice what they've been learning with someone who's a little more unfamiliar to them. So they've been coming down and doing that. It's been a lot of fun. So that is my report. Any questions? And I think I mentioned a shout out to Randy Terrio in the superintendent's office for working on those t-shirts for me. I bought the shirts, she did the decals, and they look fabulous. So we appreciate her.
Great, thank you. Do you have any questions? Okay. Thanks so much. And last but not least, your report.
You have my report. It's been covered through the course of the agenda. So far, any questions except for personnel, which we will do next, I will submit it as written.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, thank you. So moving on to personnel. Oh, Brewer High, yeah. Do we have a report or no?
Yeah, I wasn't, there was a meeting last week that I wasn't able to go to, so still mostly budget stuff that is similar to what I told you last month, so.
Thank you.
All right, now moving on to personnel.
So under resignation, Carrie Johnson, speech therapist. As you saw in my letter, Carrie's been here for a very long time. When I started as a special ed teacher, she was actually my mentor, so she's been here for quite a while. So you have to accept her resignation with regret. But I would suggest you do it with regret and appreciation for all her years of service. She was, I think she was originally North Orrington, so.
Wow. That's great. So we need a motion for that.
I make a motion to accept her resignation with regret and appreciation.
I'll second the motion.
All right, all in favor? Thanks. Okay, so we don't have any executive sessions.
None.
And now it's just another chance for comments from the public or the board.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a lot of people watching online.
Hundreds.
Thousands, I think.
Oh.
Thousands, Brendan. Or 5.
Right.
Either one.
So I guess we can adjourn the meeting. Our next meeting is on Monday, is that right? Monday,
Yes,
June
correct.
5th.
Right, because it's right before the town meeting.
Yeah, at 6:30.
Right.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.